I love how I was in the last video talking about being a lord of sanity and then talking about mold pods, sending their pods down into our culture and working through everything people call as the Masons and the Illuminati. And these things live better if men masquerade as women and women masquerade as men and everything in between. And it's just like, wow. So, like, non sexual bacteria with an incredibly desire to exercise dominant creative control or the appearance thereof, the better to feed upon the mind of man. Wow, it's incredible. It almost gives me an erection. Get ready, man. Get ready. Do you really think men, in and of themselves, have conspired to make this of the earth? Do you think a man would do that? So there's always a question that's begged. And by the way, every cult member is to be attributed with great wisdom in having been sensible of this question, which is, did men make this evil? Did mankind make this evil? And if not, was it something more than man or less than man? And what is man's responsibility in that? These are powerful questions that rarely get asked or answered and are every day screamed and every day answered. It only asks for some of us to put our minds through the scuzz zone and use these faculties of our mind and go, okay, I think it's mold. Mold got control of our mind. Man's mind is moldy. Okay, one, a part of man's mind is moldy. It can completely feel as though the entire mind is moldy. In fact, the moldy mind wants you to think that way. So you just accept that everything is moldy. Because everywhere you go, it is. Right? It costs too much. And every now and then you get the serious feeling like you're at some incredible party where you've given a little bit too much of your semen and your blood and your urine and your mind and your time to it. Now it's like, now it's time to start paying your dues. And before you even get around to starting to pay your dues, you're back at the party because you realize in one last sober thought that the party is about paying your dues. And then you're like, whoa, man, this was not a time to drop acid. Listening to this man is making me want to kill myself. And it's like, no, we're talking about, let me put you at ease. I was going to say, let me put you at ease. I don't know what I'm talking about. Which I think was probably better than let me put you at ease. I'm a complete maniac. I've noticed things, I guess. Children notice things all the time. And then I notice that people notice, and then I notice that even though they notice, they would start up behaving as though they hadn't noticed. And jealousy, where it starts off young, and a sense of inferiority, where it begins young in age, stays with a man for all his days. And to bring this back around, that thought, I think, can be continued like a poem. It can almost be like a part of a poem that can yet be redeemed and then turned into something, winning. And more than that, something that honors a phrase, if an evil we've considered or declared, that has a beginning and an end. In fact, evil, properly speaking, is all that should have a beginning and end. Don't you think? I mean, if there is evil, we can hope it has a beginning and an end. I mean, immunologically, that is a very logical statement. For many different spheres of our mind, especially the ones that are near the scuzz sphere, right? The scuzziness that just turns everything into scuzz. The mold that has sent its spores down like a diaspora all over the world and just set everything to scuzziness, no matter how friendly it is. Only friendly as evil can be. And there's just, take it from me, there's a lot of fucking evil, but it's in a layer. It's like, but it has neurochemical, neurophysiological control of lots of different especially mass mental systems. It has a little bit of control of everyone every day. When you look at large numbers of people, the control and the predictability goes up, and the cults and the power goes up, and you almost wonder, how does the system never break down? And I think it's because it lives upon always breaking down. So everyone is constantly breaking. Every day breaks people. Every day breaks the world. Every day the mind is cracked. Just like you crack an egg. And it's cracked every day. There's signals sent into people's brains that say fracture, fracture, fracture. And that's what it does to the parts of the body of the earth. It makes human beings work faster because there's a fracture. Like red blood cells or white blood cells. Come on, there's no one in the world I've ever met who wants to do the most good, who isn't so fucking busy, right? And the most laudable professions. These are people capable of being extremely busy every day. They make me look like scum, no doubt about it. They make me look like a slug and how busy they are. But if you listen to them on tape answer questions designed for both of us, and you listen to me answer questions, wouldn't it be amazing to see these two different people? And also, if neither one of them was necessarily better than the other, and you thought, beside this man, these people do look incredible. Listen to this doctor's day and his wife, right? Listen to this man's day. Don't these people seem fucking incredible compared to me? And in the best sense. And in that same sense, do not I look incredible? Because when you put man with man, you put mankind, this mankind, and that mankind together, there's something beautiful is always made. I like to think that I look beautiful next to anybody. And I think people should feel that way. My life should look beautiful next to the life of the snob driving down the street who just thinks I'm a scumbag or something. I tell you the truth, I don't know what people think, but I know the energy that their cars are giving off, and it's not pleasant. I mean, if people knew what their cars were giving off from someone who lives close to the land every day, they would make more of an effort to make their cars look cheerful. And I don't mean like creepy, like adding, big dog ears to the side or shit like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there should be an industry to make your car look less demonic. Call it demonic away. Demonic away, demonic away. Because, it just emphasizes to me that cars themselves serve, as much as their occupants are meant to serve as relay systems for mold-like bacterial electrical demonic frequencies that are constantly trying to have a certain kind of influence over everything around them. Not unexpectedly, it grates the most to those who aren't compatible with it, and especially those who live in the subconscious, because in the subconscious, those people are capable of feeling the insults to one's intelligence. Granted, most people never enumerate enough of those insults, never use their voice like I do. They're able to start to get a better idea of the context of what's insulting them, and to give themselves an opportunity, as much of an opportunity as possible, to do what society says you can do by working, like, be secure, try to have some kind of peace in your life, and try to have a way to sustain yourself through the challenges that really lay around you. And for me, and throughout my life, though I live on a small income, that challenge is one that I face here. This is where I work for my future. This is where I learn from my past right now on camera. This is the most sacred, powerful work that I do. These sticks, everything, the vague unease that's creeping into this shoulder, this powerful shoulder, which does so much for me, is now getting tense. I'm tensing up. So I also feel a little bit cold, even though I'm actually dressed relatively warmly today, and I'm glad that I did. Calling it the beginning of winter. As I sit here, like, the summer really has come to an end, and I'm happy that it has. It's perfect timing for me. I'm going to really make the maximum use of the beginning of winter. I think I'm really primed for it. I also know that I might benefit from stretching, and I'm looking around, first at the perimeter, and then at this area, and thinking, So I want to turn the camera and try stretching on camera. And I like stretching on camera because I want to show people this stretch. It's a stretch that I discovered that I tentatively claim, the way you would make a weird pink pill and tentatively claim that it'll make you pregnant without the use of semen. You know, I've tried it for a few months and it seems to give me the stretch that I need, and then I could then use conjecture to claim that I think is basically like squeezing out all my body from head to toe. I find certain aches and pains will just disappear after I do it. So it does involve elevating one leg. It does involve a lot of twisting and stretching. You need to be able to have a lot of balance. So anyone listening to this, you know, this is definitely a stretch that could cause injury. Absolutely. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to anyone. And I think the only saving grace in that regard is probably that if you were to attempt the stretch, I think you would soon see that you may you know, it'll inhibit itself. I don't know. You know, it just seems to me that there are stretching your hips, things like that. Like, I just want to say you do it at your own risk. That's what I'm saying. And I'm doing it at my own risk. I haven't done it long enough. I don't know enough about the body. Yada yada yada. You know, you always have to stay open to whenever you're doing anything, even if it works. It's like, do you want to keep doing this every day? Are you making anything worse? Are you over twisting? All that type of shit. So, and in that sense, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm coming from a place of knowing what I'm feeling. I've taken the risk and I'm responsible for it. I have no right to encourage other people to take that risk without at least telling them there is a risk if they're not able to figure that out for themselves, in which case, of course, there's a tremendous risk. So there you go. I've said my piece. I haven't done this here before. I'm actually thinking about where I might like to do it. I was going to do it here, and then I thought, yeah, I could do it here. Where's the sun? The sun's up there somewhere. Okay. I could do it actually in my pentagram. That might be the best place to do it. I haven't used that pentagram for anything ceremonial for a long time. Might even pick up a nice stick I could use too. Let me see. Yeah, I think I might be able to do that here. Let's see. Oh. So you need to step on something like this. That's kind of good. And then I think I'll use that moss over there maybe, or maybe that part of the trunk, and then let's see, put my foot on here. Nope. Oh, okay. On there. And then, yep, I can do it. Then where do I want to put the camera is the next question. If I'm twisting here, I could, oh, there's a lot of different places. The further away, the better, probably, I would say, in some respects. And then there isn't a lot open here for me to do that. So just to take the best place offhand where the camera would sit, I think right in front of me. I just heard a branch break. So let's try it out. We've got 2 minutes left on here. Put on here. See that bush is in the way. Can't do anything about that. And then stick my forward-facing foot ahead of me, and then I bring up my arms, and here I'll actually move the camera. Got 30 seconds. Here we go. Forward-facing, twist, arms up, twisting the torso around, up to the sun, the trees, the sky. Ooh. Every little motion you make becomes significant. And balance, relax, twist, stretch. Ugh. And that should take up my time on here.